to another episode of the Family Fun Force podcast. I'm Jess.
I'm Matt.
Okay, today we're covering Moving Out. It is rated E for everyone. It has mild, in quotations, cartoon violence. This is available on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. It is a 1-4 player cooperative physics party game. Rating is about a 77 out of 100 on Metacritic. I didn't average it. I'm lazy. That's just for Switch. On PS4 it was 74. I didn't look any more than that. Little synopsis for you. Moving Out is a fun physics-based moving simulator that brings new meaning to couch co-op. 'Cause you move couches. That was my input, sorry. Are you ready for an exciting career in furniture? As a newly certified furniture arrangement and relocation technician, you'll take on moving jobs all across the busy town of Packmore. Smooth Moves may not be the biggest moving company, but there's no task too dangerous or strange for this busy team of go-getters. Grow your business to brave new heights, recruit colorful, customizable characters, save your town from furniture peril. Okay, so what you got for us, Matt?
Moving Out was developed by the studio's SMG Studio and DevM Games. So SMG Studio also developed Death Squared, another co-op title on Switch.
Death Squared is awesome.
And then DevM Games, they have several games out. Probably the most interesting game I saw on their website was Extreme Forklifting 1 and 2.
What?
And Moving Out was published by Team 17, best known for their Worms series, but they've been publishing a lot lately. So Moving Out is a game where you move furniture and boxes from houses into a moving van. You control funny avatars who sling objects via physics. You can grab onto fragile objects to carefully set down. You can chuck objects. If you're playing cooperative, two people can grab heavy objects like sofas and throw them together. There's other things in the levels such as water, where you can fall in and drown or lose items. There's ghosts that chase you and hug you to death. There's buttons that are annoying, and there's other hazards. The primary game mechanic is time trials. Every level is a time trial. You have to beat the level in a certain amount of time to win. What did you, Jessica the adult, find fun?
For adults, this is a fun party game that can test the best of friendships. And let me just reference back to what Matt just said about me being like, oh, Death Squared, I played that. So I think this studio doesn't want people to like each other because they make a lot of games that like people want to kill each other after playing.
So Death Squared, not that this is a Death Squared review, I never got mad at.
No, you got mad at me. Or are you saying that you got mad at this game versus shooting it? Okay.
Mad at Moving Out.
We'll get there. All right. Back to what I was saying. That can test the best of friendships. It is a simple concept, but also becomes difficult via new concepts and levels, and it has a backstory to keep you interested, quote unquote. Also encourages replay via challenges and completing within time limits. You get bronze, silver, and gold. You can totally fail if you run out of time. There are also more than one way to move items, so you aren't stuck going just one way. Break down windows and chuck stuff out.
Yeah, I think other people our age would probably find fun. Every location starts with a short cut scene. Usually lots of punny jokes. Take those as far as you will. I don't know. There's lots of puzzles in some of the levels. They're not overly complicated, but they're there for people who like that sort of thing. There's also lots of smashing things. It's nice to like smash windows and chuck boxes. Right up until you're trying to chuck a box through a window between two moving cars. How do you think younger people would enjoy this?
I would say for kids, it's a couch co-op game they can play that lets them pick a character. So that's cool because you constantly have kids fighting over what avatar they're going to use. And this, you pick like what animal it is and then its hat and then it's like colors. And also, any of them can be in wheelchairs, which is something I guess might be a carryover from another game that they worked on. But that's cool. But yeah, so they can change their attributes, make it custom to them. The gameplay only requires a few buttons, so it can be easy to pick up. Additionally, there is an assist mode to make it easier, which is great for younger kids. What'd you think?
Yeah, the assist mode we discovered when we were almost done playing for this review. That would have been nice.
I mean, it was in the main menu. We just ignored it. We're adults, man. We don't need assist mode.
I mean, it's simple. There's lots of simple, fun things to do. There's lots of side quests. There's like hidden objectives for like kidnapping turtles in levels or like breaking all the windows in a room, that kind of stuff. The graphics are bright and colorful. The characters are fun. Just mentioned the character customization. There's lots of different characters. I need to look this up.
That's fine. While you're saying that, I will cover the challenges. There's usually 3 per level. You get access to what they are once you've completed a level, but if you happen to do them the first playthrough, they will count. Challenges, kind of like what Matt said. There's one that was like, make sure you get the chicken in, make sure you get the turtle in the moving van, don't break such and such, don't take a certain pathway. I mean, there are things you can figure out, like I said, just from the first playthrough, but, most of them are stuff you're not going to think about doing the first time, so I encourage you to go back and be like, oh, okay, well, I got silver last time, I want to get a gold time, I got to do it in this amount of time. Also, these 3 challenges. That's how you 100% a level.
Yeah, the character customization is really cool. You could pick like different heads, different colors, and like Jess mentioned, you can put them in a wheelchair if you want. You don't see wheelchairs in many games, and it doesn't affect how your character interacts with the world at all, which is a little weird, but I got to play as Canty from Fooly Cooly, for those who know what that is. Jess started out, what did you start as you didn't start as a unicorn, what did you start as?
Yeah, I don't remember what I started as.
But you ended up as a transformer.
Yes, because that was an unlocked character. And he looks like Bumblebee, so, like, I needed that. But yeah, I think I was a unicorn, a robot.
Fun things in some of the levels. Kids might enjoy the ghosts more than I did. The chickens and the turtles are funny because they try to run away from you, so you have to catch them. There's a whole level that takes place on a farm, so you have to catch chickens and sheep and cows, and they will actively try to run away from the moving truck from you, so you have to constantly chase them down. There's another level where the furniture started moving on its own. That one was really annoying. We had to constantly stop what you were doing to make sure the chairs didn't get too far away. Outside of the ghosts and the chickens, there are buttons for solving puzzles.
Yeah, so it's a physics-based game. How would you say how well is it in physics?
So the physics are fine for all the single person items because they look like they have the weight that your avatar seems to be exerting to move them for all the boxes and all the one-man pieces in the building. The problem comes for the two-man pieces like the couches and the tables, because if you just run your avatar into the object without grabbing it, you can push most objects fairly easily. They'll slide or roll across the floor. The minute you grab them, suddenly they become like 10 times heavier.
I think I can answer why this happens.
It's a game mechanic. It's to restrict you to using 2 people.
Yes, because when I played single player for a whole 10 minutes, the things that were normally 2-person were 1. So I think that's why it's like that.
But yeah, it's poorly implemented and it made me mad. Let's go to things we don't like.
No, we have to go over things we like first, Matt. I personally really enjoyed the puns. The conversation bubbles between the boss and your characters as well as the client were hilarious. I love jokes. This is a big deal to me. Also, I love the character options and customization. I like that additional characters were unlocked via progress, hence I chose a unicorn and then subsequently a robot. But I did also pre-order, so I got some extras to start. I did think it was cool that there was an underlying story, not that I got far enough to figure it out. I think we finished at like 22%. I love the house designs and references too, because there's jokes, like there's like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reference because there's a turtle inside a house full of pizza. I think that's a TMNT reference.
Yes, it's supposed to be.
Also, chucking chickens in a truck was kind of fun. However, them running back out was not. What did you find fun?
I thought the built-in jokes were sometimes funny. A lot of what happened with the moving van itself and the characters was goofy and entertaining. At least up until the game started trying to get more serious, and it's like, oh wait, we're gonna have a story, but it's gonna be like in the background. And I didn't think it was very well done. It was easily overlooked until they suddenly threw it in your face.
Hey, we're talking about things we like. That didn't sound like a thing you liked.
Sorry, I'll try harder.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
What did I say that I liked?
Yeah.
The jokes, the level designs, the character customization.
The character. Well, I've already talked about the character customization. That's probably the best part about the game. I mean, what other game lets me be Canty from Fooly Cooly?
Did you like having to carry animals?
I did like the farm level. I liked the sheep and the chickens. That was funny. The cow was
The
annoying.
cow was not fun.
But the chickens were great. There were chickens on a lot of levels.
So many chickens.
And I thought the turtles were funny. There was like a whole Frogger level that was funny. So like, I liked the references in the levels, but oftentimes the level design itself was just maddening.
I mean, houses are sometimes just maddening.
I worked as a mover, and I think I had more fun moving real people's furniture than moving this game.
All right, yeah, we'll add that in at the end. Anyways, that's what you got for what you liked, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Some things that were not as enjoyable. I'm gonna say first off, the obstacles.
Yes.
I understand these are made to make the game more challenging, but they were obnoxious. Turtles running at you, ghosts killing you, rakes hitting you in the face. Constant dying and being stunned wasted a lot of time, which was annoying because this is very dependent on how much time you take. I found it was difficult to control character at times, like they were drifting away, like, I don't know, fishtailing, I would say, sometimes, which made it hard to two-man some objects. This was especially bad when it came to areas with saws in the floor to kill you, lava, and water. You die a lot, or at least I did.
I died a lot too.
Which sometimes it's funny, because you show up in a little box, and you land on stuff.
It was funny the first time.
But when you die like 6 times in a row, you're just like, okay, this is enough.
Like, there was one level, like the last level we played, where I literally died 2 seconds from spawning, like 10 times in a row. And I was just like, I guess I'm done.
Yeah, we got past a train level, which I thought was kind of cool. Let's talk about how we messed up the train level. Like, I'll just tie that into things that annoy me.
Parts that I don't like.
Fine, go ahead.
Some of the levels, I've complained about this in other games too. Some of the levels aren't super clear with its objectives. And there's this train level where it tells you need to move, what was it, like 24 objects?
22.
22 objects. And you go over to the train, and normally you can press Y on...
I think it's X. If you hit X, it highlights every single item that needs to be picked up.
We kept hitting X, but it just didn't compute that the items we were moving weren't highlighted.
We were tired.
Because they look like boxes you would normally be moving every other level.
Yeah, the previous 3 levels, those were the boxes we were moving. And then suddenly we weren't moving these boxes anymore.
And now there were all these boxes that we weren't supposed to move. Instead, we were literally both just supposed to walk in front of the door. But nothing in the game told us that, so we spent 6 minutes moving like 40 of these boxes, wondering why the
I
level...
went back to the recording. It was like a good 10 minutes.
Wondering why the level wasn't finishing. And then we finally like gave up for the night. We closed the switch, and at the very end, I'm like, I don't think we're supposed to move those boxes. And sure enough, next time we turn the game on, no, you're just supposed to both stand in front of the door. Be clear with your objectives, game developers. Like, I'm not asking to handhold people through tutorials, don't like force them to move places, but if you're supposed to go to a door, highlight the door.
Okay, Matt, what else did you hate?
I hated all the buttons. The puzzles themselves were fine. It was the way the buttons were implemented in the game, so you had to have a physics object on the button. But I've already complained that the way the physics, and as Jess mentioned, your characters move, a lot of things have mass, but the way in which you can move that mass changes all the time for 100 different circumstances. So it's very, very hard to move anything with any level of precision, which I understand is sort of the humor part of the game, of the moving things. But when your character... If you're moving, say you have your analog stick at like 30% of its full distance, you can do like a tight corner, but then at 50% of the full distance, you're literally like Tokyo drifting it. That's not a good character controller. It was bad. And simply like grabbing a 2-man piece would be the difference from everything else. Like, I still don't understand how the 2-man piece character controller works, because sometimes you point in a direction and you go that direction. Sometimes you point in a direction and you're going the literal opposite direction. I don't comprehend it at all.
Yes, this led to a lot of Matt getting mad at me because he like, go this direction. I'm like, I'm literally pushing my character in that direction and they're not responding to me.
So, like, some of the items in the game would be like funky shapes that you have to get out of rooms. And that would have been fine if you could consistently move the object in a way to get it out of the room, but with the characters floating around, the objects changing mass seemingly randomly, and throw in things like the turtle getting in your way, the chickens running out of the stupid truck after you get them in there, and ghosts who will hug you until you die. Any insta-kill enemy in any game is not fun, and these ghosts, the most you can do is stun them for about 2 seconds. And all they have to do is hug you, and as soon as they grab you, you can no longer stun them. They're going to kill you. So it's basically an insta-kill. The ghosts just weren't fun.
I like slapping them, but that was bad.
All the buttons are terrible, because if you set an object on it, you're going to knock it off the button. The first 10 levels of the game were pretty fun. I was enjoying it. At that point, I didn't understand how little I understood the character movement, so I wasn't upset with it yet. But also, like, just the simpler gameplay was more fun. It was focusing on things like having one person on one side of a pool while the other person throws objects to them. That was fun. You hit the train level, and the difficulty suddenly, like, triples. And you're having to do things you haven't done before, or you're having to do things under absolutely strict time limits. Like, literally as fast as the character moves, that's how fast you need to get across this obstacle. And it's, again, the characters don't move in a consistent fashion, so it's just not fun how much harder it got.
And there's no sprint in like some other games. There's no sprint. There's one standard movement speed. Yeah, once we hit lava, I was done. It was impossible to do that section, and after you got to one part, it just unlocked a whole section, and the floor was timed to move out underneath you because I was doing that by myself, and I was just like, I don't have the patience for this right now.
So do you know of any similar titles you would?
No, this is where we're going to talk about your moving experiences.
Oh.
So, how could you compare your moving experiences to this game? How realistic is this game about moving stuff? Give me some examples.
Well, I worked with a man who would break objects as quickly as you break them in this game.
On purpose?
No.
Or just bad mover?
He was just never paying attention.
Did you guys ever break open windows to chuck couches out?
No.
Or pianos?
No.
Did you guys ride the snowboard down a mountain?
I plead the fifth.
Did you ever have to move animals?
No.
So nothing ever ran back out of the truck?
No.
How about slapping ghosts? You ever have to do that?
I don't think you can slap ghosts.
What about secret rooms that you had to pull levers or push buttons for?
No.
No, but seriously, like, you mentioned a lot of stuff when we were playing this game about when you worked. So any examples you want to share?
You're putting me on the spot. You should have told me about this before.
I told 3 times I said we'll talk about that later. That means you talk about it now. Now is later.
I can say this game makes moving pianos look like it's easy.
Okay.
Yeah, real life pianos are they're not light.
Hey, but we two-manned a piano.
Yeah.
That's possible.
And if I hadn't known exactly how to do it, would we have gotten that piano out of that house?
If we hadn't had those straps, I don't think it would have happened. I had bruises on my shoulders from those straps for about 2 weeks.
This game needs a lift strap.
Oh yeah, maybe that's what in assist mode there is. We never looked at assist mode. Hey, why don't you look up what assist mode is?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, there's an assist mode. I don't know what it did. Maybe there was moving straps. Who knows?
In all seriousness, as far as this game comparing to like moving in real life, I mean the game's supposed to be funny, but if you do follow in real life how you load a truck, it would be more efficient. I purposely wasn't doing that when me and Jessica played because I was trying to have fun with it.
Yeah, because it said to move the bigger objects first.
Yeah, like in a real truck, you would move big objects to form a layer, and you put small objects on top of it to fill the space. And if you do that in the game, it'll be way efficient, and you'll get the levels done faster.
But it takes too much time.
But ultimately, the problem is stuff is in your way, and you can't move your characters consistently enough to avoid these obstacles.
Yeah, when you try to chuck something, how many times we tried to chuck something and it literally got chucked behind us or to the left or right? It was never like where we were pointing.
When you throw objects, it gives you a crosshair where it's supposed to land, which I would use, but it wasn't very accurate. When you two-man a piece and you throw it,
you both got to be holding the end of it.
You both have to hold the throw button, and probably the worst part is if one player holds the throw button your player still moves, but to throw an object, you have to hold the throw button and move your analog stick in the direction you want to throw. So a lot of times I would tell Jess, hey, let's throw this, and I would just press the throw button and push in the direction, and lo and behold, I'm now moving around Jess, who still hasn't hit the throw button yet because she just heard me say it. And by the time she hits the throw button, the object's pointed who knows where. And then I chuck it anyways because I think it's funny and it bounces and we have to go pick it up. But it made a lot of the two-man pieces hard to move and throw. And coordination's difficult in this.
Also, we talk about physics. A lot of times when we chuck stuff out windows, it got stuck in the walls. It happened more than once. The piano,
Yeah.
I think the piano got stuck in the wall, and one of us had to just tug on it constantly. And then I think there was a chair I tried to chuck through a wall. It got stuck. Some boxes.
Kind of don't want to beat this game with a hammer, but like...
Like, I liked it, but
I think it's
it
a
was
good
obnoxious.
game. I think it's a good game, and I think other people will have fun with it. But I didn't like it.
If you just accept the fact that you're going to get stressed out, if you go into it planning on getting stressed out and mad at anyone else you're playing with, then it's fine. Or
Maybe
if you're planning on getting inebriated, but
When me and Jessica usually play cooperative games for ourselves, we like to play violent games and games that require a lot of planning. We played Splinter Cells, all of them that had co-op. And both of us like playing games where we can meticulously plan and execute. And Jess is always the wild card because she likes to rush in, but that makes it fun. And we're always...
does it?
Yeah.
Does it?
I mean, how many times are you going to step on the same landmine?
A lot, because I don't remember where things are.
In any case.
Don't talk about that level. Teamwork makes the dream work. What else did he say? Oh my god. Splinter Cell, Blacklist, cooperative. If you need something to do and you have a friend who has Splinter Cell Blacklist, play the cooperative. It's great.
But back to these family-oriented games, a lot of these are relying on people who are just bad at video games to make it fun.
Or kids.
Or kids, but I mean, I think this is the wrong way to look at cooperative games. Like, making it difficult by making it so you're fighting the core mechanics isn't how you make something fun while being difficult.
I liked how there were video game consoles in a lot of the houses, and they were like the NES, the SNES. I'm pretty sure there was a Sega Genesis and a Dreamcast. But they were like every single level. Oh, we haven't talked about how when you pull an electric thing out, you have to pull it out the wall.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's
They're
funny.
plugged in. Oh my god, it's so funny.
It's funny to get some objects out, you have to pull the cord out of the wall, but it acts like a rubber band, so you have to keep pulling until it snaps.
And then you can break stuff too.
Oh yeah, some of the levels are like, don't break the TV, which is impossible because you're just going to chuck it out the window.
I broke an arcade machine. There are some boxes that actually have fragile on them, and if you break those, they respawn. So you can't break those. Everything else, they don't care if you break them. You go through a training at the very beginning, and you get certified as a fart. It's funny. It's great.
What does
Also, we
fart
haven't
stand
talked about
for?
how when you try to move a two-man thing by yourself, and you're stressing yourself, that you start farting. It's just like toot, toot,
That
toot.
was funny, and that is realistic.
Okay, do you have a story about this?
About farting while moving things?
Yes.
Have you ever moved anything?
I don't think I've farted while moving something.
Then you didn't move enough things. I have never had to move a giant slinky snake.
Oh my god, that part was so dumb.
I'm kind of disappointed I never moved a giant slinky snake.
What about a giant stuffed giraffe?
I moved a life-size scale elephant.
Did you ever have to go into somebody's security house by pressing a series of buttons and levers and they had fans turned on that blew you out the side of the wall?
They didn't have fans. They had security fences.
Oh, that's cool.
Not really, it slows you down.
I mean, yeah. It slowed us down in this game, too.
I had to move a giant wooden horse. The elephant was unique. Because it was like resin cast baby elephant. Arcade machines are horrible. Yeah, this game has arcade machines and pianos way the same as like every other two-man piece. Those are the heaviest objects known to man.
Oh, you liked how all, like, the tables that looked really flimsy were two-man.
Yeah, like they kept having two-man tables. It was like a plastic table with like folding legs. I'm like, why do both of us need to move this?
Unity. It's team building.
It was ridiculous. And then that goes back to what I was saying before, where if you just like ran at it and impacted it with your avatar, it would like get flung halfway across the room. But the minute you grabbed it, it suddenly weighed like 600 pounds.
Also, PSA, because there's a slapping mechanic to defend yourself from ghosts, you can slap your teammates.
Of
And if
course
they're
you
holding
can.
a box, they drop it. Thanks, Matt.
And if the box is fragile, it breaks, and it's hilarious. Oh, there's a level in the game where we had to move, and like there was music stuff everywhere, and there were gold label records all on the walls. I've moved the house like that.
That's cool. Do you know what they did?
They were a songwriter. I cannot give any more information than that.
Oh, that sucks. I want to know, like, what CD. Okay, any more comments? I think that about wraps this up.
I think I want to talk about similar titles.
Okay. Well, what would you say you think is similar to this?
So if you like all the physicsy movement and stuff, you would probably like Octodad.
Oh my god, Octodad. I always forget about that game. So good.
I mean, Octodad isn't co-op, but it's a game where you have to move around using all your octopus limbs and trying to pretend to be a person. And it had very similar physics stuff. I think it did it much better. The masses of objects was way more consistent, and you always knew the right amount of force to do what you wanted because it was very easy to pick up. Similar to Octodad, I Am Bread.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about I Am Bread.
If you want something that's not cooperative but is multiplayer, there's Gang Beasts. That's one where like you're little ragdoll people and you're trying to wrestle each other. Again, all physics based, all like throwing each other. That one's kind of fun. And then if you want a co-op game that makes you as mad as this one, but I think was like better implemented, would be Magica.
Magica 2, Magica 2, magic for me and magic for you.
Yeah, there are some physics in Magica, but it's mostly based around the spellcasting system, which is truly unique. If you haven't played Magica, definitely try it.
One's better than 2.
I think it's rated teen because of blood. I don't know if you can turn the blood off.
Yeah, you exploderize people, so it's kind of graphic.
But other than the blood, the game itself is actually pretty childish and pretty fun.
There are some sex jokes, but I mean, what game doesn't have those?
What similar titles do you think?
Well, I would go tried and true if you want to play other stuff by Team 17. Overcooked, I prefer it over this game. It's also really fun. You also get custom characters who are also in wheelchairs if you choose to play as the raccoon in a wheelchair.
I think Overcooked does a better job ramping up the difficulty also. You never like, it's never suddenly, oh my god, I'm not going to beat this level.
But there are, oh my god, I'm not going to beat this level levels if you go from the standard game to the DLC. Now, it does warn you. It's like, hey, have you beat the game? Oh, you haven't beaten the game? You probably shouldn't play this. I'm like, I don't care, it's fine. And the DLC was so hard compared to the normal game. So that does warn you. But it's not like, I'm going to throw random stuff at you to make it more difficult. But you make food, and you serve it to people, and it's great to play multiplayer, especially because then you get to shout, like, order up, somebody clean the dishes.
Yeah, I think Overcooked's a good game, and I think we should try playing it sometime. Or try reviewing it sometime.
I mean, it's good. What else do we need to say? Buy Overcooked. Overcooked 1 and 2 are both great. I would prefer them over this game. So if you want something cooperative, I'd probably say get Overcooked first, and then if you beat Overcooked 1 and 2 and you want something else, then get Moving Out. I don't know. I think they're better. But also I would say physics-based, because you didn't mention it, Surgeon Simulator.
Oh, I think that has a co-op mode, too.
It does. There's a co-op mode in the newer versions, which the one that released on Switch was one of the first ones released with the co-op built in. So, yeah, that's something you could do.
Yeah, another physics-based game, this one about doing surgeries. Actually, fairly little blood for a game about surgery.
Yeah, you kind of just take a hammer, knock out them ribs. Nothing really comes out at you. You rip out a heart, lungs, kidneys.
I mean, all the organs are kind of squishy looking, so if your kid is squeamish, maybe hold off. But most adults should be able to stomach it, and it's pretty funny.
And then you can work on an alien, you go to space.
And I don't think Surgeon Sim ever gets hard.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of obnoxious.
It's just funny. It's funny when you're trying to do a heart transplant in the back of a moving ambulance.
And then you stab yourself with morphine and everything gets dizzy. All right, so I guess if that wraps up are similar titles, I guess, than personal ratings, I would say slightly recommend. I think I already clarified. I'd probably recommend getting Overcooked 1 or 2 first, and then trying Moving Out. Again, I picked Moving Out because I'm like, oh, I loved Overcooked. I should love this. I don't love it as much as Overcooked, but it's still pretty fun. What did you think?
I'm going to have to go. I slightly don't recommend this. I think it's. The first 10 levels had me really excited, and then the difficulty jumped so hard. Most people who don't play as many games as us are going to have even more trouble with this, especially kids. I think it lost all the fun it built up early on. And I wound up like really disappointed. So I'm going to say I don't really recommend this. Like Jess said, get Overcooked or other titles, Human Fall Flat, I Am Bread, Magica, Gang Beasts. Like any of those I think are probably better co-op experiences than this game. And even the single player in this game, Jessica played the single player for a bit while I was watching. I don't think it added anything to the experience. And honestly, I think the single player is worse than the multiplayer, which is usually the other way around for most games.
I mean, it might be easier to play it single player, and especially if you put assist mode on, than if you just want to play something to beat it. But this game really emphasizes cooperative, and when playing cooperative makes it more difficult, it's not good.
Or Monster Hunter. If you haven't played Monster Hunter in this day and age.
Oh my gosh. Monster Hunter has nothing to do with this game.
It's co-op.
It can be co-op, it's not required. And it's more difficult cooperative.
You should play Monster Hunter.
Oh my gosh. You want to review Monster Hunter?
Yeah, but a good one like Generations.
It's not really that... I mean, I guess it's kid-friendly. Not really aimed at kids, though. It's a grindy game. I wouldn't say grindy games are great for kids. We could review the Monster Hunter 3DS.
I'm good.
Stories game. Stories is so cute. Find us on Facebook via Family Fun Force. Join our group, Family Fun Force Pod Group, and find us at Twitter at
ForcePod.
Have you been checking emails? Has anyone emailed us?
No.
No,
I
you
have not been
emails?
checking.
Okay, we need to check emails. People need to email us questions, comments, concerns. I still haven't checked to see if anyone's reviewed us.
Join our Discord. There's a link in the Family Fun Force Pod group on Facebook. We have a link to our Discord channel where we chat and have fun and try to set up game nights.
Do you have opinions on people sharing their Twitch handles on our group page?
I don't care if they do so.
Okay, so if you guys want to, promote yourselves on the podcast group, I don't care. Go for it. But you have to join the podcast group, and you need to follow us on Facebook to be able to do that. So if you want to do that, go for it. I love self-promotion. Want to help other people with gaming stuff. Also, a lot of people are playing Animal Crossing and looking for friends to get certain fruits and sell turnips at good rates and whatnot. So feel free, if you guys don't care who adds you as a friend, feel free to post your friend codes straight in the group. I don't care if you guys want to do that. Go for it. I'd love to see it.
We're trying to promote a family-friendly environment, so we curate both the Facebook page and the Discord, which means that if you try to join either one, you will get to talk to me or Jessica, but also that if you come off as a mean person, you won't get in.
If I see inappropriate things posted, I will kick you out. I have one friend who shares a lot of memes. That's fine too, as long as the memes are mostly appropriate. The one was Attack on Titan. It wasn't graphic, but it was fine. Okay. What's the next title, Matt?
Daydreams.
That's not the name.
Oh.
You want to try again?
Nightmares?
Nope. Although I would be very tempted to review Little Nightmares, except it's very scary.
Phantasy Star Online Portable 2.
What console was that even on?
PSP.
We're not reviewing PSP games on this.
Oh.
Any more?
Nah.
Guesses you got there? The title we're reviewing is Dreams, made by the same studio that brought you Little Big Planet 3. PS4 exclusive.
We'll see you all next time.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You'll sing.
Say it without laughing.
You want me to start?
No.
Okay.
You need to say fart.
Fart. Not furniture. I would just like to point out you're always complaining about how I interrupted you.
Yeah, well, I'm getting back at you this time.
Your phone went off. You better edit that.
It
Totally
didn't even get
unprofessional.
picked
Your
up.
phone should be silenced.
You know what did get picked up? You
Sir.
saying my phone went off. And yeah, then you accidentally drug yourself.
Good times.
Sure, just blow a long 5-minute raspberry so
Yeah.
I can edit it.
I think I hurt my ankle. What's the deal with sick days? But you're not sick, just hurt. And we don't have hurt days. I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing than moving with you. Or gaining the trust of an unruly horse and letting it ride you forever? Wow, maybe I can't think of something else I'd rather be doing. If I had an extra life, I would also spend it moving furniture. I hope one day this little ghost can find the courage to move on. The client said not to break their things. Just kidding, they paid for moving insurance. Smash all you want. Dreams do come true. It's our newest employee, Dazzlehoof. Your skills meet the minimum legal requirements to start moving. Hereby recognize you as a certified fart. Do not eat greasy food while using a controller because it may slip and cause serious injury. Alright, that's all I got.